12 years after winning Best Picture and Best Director with Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood did it again, with the sports drama $1 Million Baby. He even received the award from the same person, Barbra Streisand.
I'm so happy to give you this again, Clint.
What a small world. Anywho, $1 Million Baby stars Clint Eastwood, Hilary Swank, and Morgan Freeman, and it tells the story of Frankie, an old boxing trainer who, after many reservations, decides to train a woman, Maggie Fitzgerald. She hits the ground running and very quickly becomes one of the best female fighters in the world, until she finally gets her one shot at glory and earns the right to face the world champ. Seeing as this is a Clint Eastwood movie, you can count on a few things right off the bat. The first thing you can count on is that the film will be very minimalistic in its visuals. There's nothing about the visual style that stands out. It's all very basic and fundamental. Shot reverse shot, two shot, a master, maybe an establishing shot. It's the ABCs of filmmaking. Now, Clint obviously has a firm mastery of the fundamentals, which shouldn't be taken for granted, and he also manages to imbue a certain charm to the minimalistic style. With that being said though, I personally prefer films with a bit more pizzazz, so $1 Million Baby's visuals didn't really fit with my personal tastes, unfortunately. Though the film doesn't look bad by any means. It actually did a great job at selling the poor living conditions of the characters. We see it especially with Scrap's dirty and decaying room, Maggie's habit of taking leftovers from the restaurant where she works, as well as her family's old home. This brings me to the second thing you can count on, which is that the film will tell a story about people with troubled pasts. Frankie has a daughter whom he didn't see in ages, Scrap lost his eye in his final fight and was forced to retire, and of course, Maggie comes from nothing, has nothing, and was very close to accepting that she will never amount to anything, that is, until she met Frankie. This is a film about the everyman or woman, the nobodies, the losers, the trash, the people that society has left behind and forgotten. It shines a light on these people, acknowledges their existence, and gives them the platform that they deserve. The third and final thing you can count on is that this film will take itself very seriously, and more often than not, it's gonna be a downer. It's time to talk about what makes this film stand out, so spoiler warning for the third act of $1 Million Baby. For the first two acts, $1 Million Baby feels like it's going in a certain direction. It feels very reminiscent of Rocky, another Best Picture winning film about an amateur boxer who gets a title shot. So you're watching this film and you think you know where it's gonna go. Either she wins the title, or maybe she loses the fight but gains so much along the way that it doesn't really matter. That's what happened in Rocky. So you come in with all of these assumptions, but the film decides to throw a curveball and take a much more somber, unexpected, and devastating direction. Instead of winning or losing with pride, she gets critically injured. Her injury is so bad that she's left completely paralyzed with no hope of ever rehabilitating. After spending a long time in a very miserable state, she asks Frankie to disconnect her from the machines that keep her alive. And even though at first he resists, ultimately he fulfills her wish and she dies. Needless to say, that's a pretty bold decision for the film to make, and it could have easily backfired if it wasn't handled correctly. Fortunately, I believe Clint Eastwood did a very good job with the ending. The third act of this film was very powerful, effective, and emotional. And even though I personally, on principle, disagree with Maggie's decision to take her own life, the film made me feel for and understand the character. Instead of going for a happy or bittersweet ending, the film decides to go full depression on us, but it still manages to highlight a broader message that I think is very profound. It shows the incredible significance of just having that one shot, how a meaningless, pitiful life can become a life worth living if you dedicate it to something you love. Morgan Freeman sums it up best near the end of the film when he talks to Frankie.
Because of you, Maggie got her shot. If she dies today, you know what her last thought would be? I think I did all right.
It's a very interesting and original take on the one shot at glory theme, and to me, that was the most noteworthy thing about the film. $1 Million Baby might not be a perfect film, it does have its issues. The scenes with Jay Baruchel, Anthony Mackie, and Michael Pena weren't great, the fight scenes themselves were nothing special on a visual or choreographic level, and as mentioned before, stylistically, the film doesn't really have much to offer. But a very strong, emotionally powerful, and thematic script, coupled with outstanding performances by Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman, and Hilary Swank especially, is more than enough for this film to earn a very solid and deserved recommendation. Clint Eastwood, in my estimation, is 2 for 2 with his Best Picture wins. I personally prefer Unforgiven, it suits my personal tastes better, but $1 Million Baby is no slouch. Though I personally would have probably picked Sideways as my winner, I think $1 Million Baby is a very deserving recipient. Up next is the 78th Best Picture winner, one of the most controversial winners in the Academy's history, Crash. Was that win really as outrageous as everybody says it is? We'll find out. Check back again for the next video of DB Reviews Oscar Madness Marathon and subscribe to my channel so you won't miss a thing. Thank you all very much, and let the journey continue.